Hi folks, I'm Dr. Ed Meyer. I'm a chiropractic physician here in Tinley Park, Illinois. I'm in practice for 27 years and now I'm in practice with my sons, Dr. Scott Meyer. And in our clinic, we don't do traditional chiropractic. We do traditional chiropractic, but our emphasis is on people with chronic metabolic and neurological problems. We see a lot of people with depression, anxiety, vertigo, balance disorders, fibromyalgia, gut issues, thyroid issues, all kinds of chronic issues that we see in our clinic. The one thing that I want to share with you in this video is that the one thing that really is greatly impacted with anybody who's chronically sick is the nervous system, is your brain. And what I want to cover in this video is kind of a Reader's Digest version on what you need to do to keep a healthy brain. You see, folks, medicine's really good at keeping us alive, and they're really good at acute problems, but you don't really hear about brain health. And I don't know about you, but I want my brain working until the day I die. So I'm going to cover 5 things that you need to do to keep healthy neurons in your brain. Like I mentioned, we practice functional neurology, and really what we do in our clinic is we take people with unhealthy neurons and we get them healthy. Here's what a healthy neuron needs. Number 1, lots of fuel. 30% of our energy production that we make in our body goes to our brain and our nervous system. 30% of our oxygen that we take in goes to our brain and our nervous system. So our brain needs a steady source of blood sugar and a steady source of oxygen. So when you have unstable blood sugar, whether it goes too high or too low or both, you got problems. You're going to have neurological problems. We see it all the time. This is why Alzheimer's is so much more prevalent in people who have diabetes. Now, in order for your brain, the neurons, to burn that glucose into energy, you need oxygen. And so we see a lot of patients with hidden anemias and things like that, whether it be a B12 folate anemia, iron deficiency anemia, anemia of chronic disease. You have to look at that, and a lot of this gets missed in traditional medicine. In order for your brain to burn glucose with oxygen, you need proper functioning mitochondria. The mitochondria are the powerhouses in our cells that actually convert our fuel into energy. It's like the pistons or the engine in your car. And in order for the mitochondria to work, you need plenty of B vitamins and plenty of enzymes and certain amino acids for that to happen. And so we look for that in all of our evaluations with our patients. Poor functioning mitochondria, poor functioning brain. So that's number 1, lots of energy. Number 2, your brain, the neurons in your brain hate inflammation. Anything that's causing inflammation will bother your brain. We see it all the time. Brain fog, memory loss, depression, anxiety. Number 1 cause of inflammation are things that we put into our body. What's happening nowadays, folks, is even our foods have been genetically modified, and so our immune systems in our gut aren't recognizing these genetically modified foods, and we eat them and our immune system attacks them as if they're foreign, and that causes chronic inflammation. Any inflammatory response in the gut is going to affect the brain. In fact, people who react to gluten and dairy, most of their symptoms are neurological and not gastrointestinal. So inflammation is really important to get rid of if you want a well-functioning brain. Number 3, your brain needs proper neurotransmitters. These are the chemicals that transmit a message from neuron A to neuron B. Depending on where in the brain we're talking about, you have different neurotransmitters. You have things like GABA, which calms the brain down. You have glutamate. You have acetylcholine, which is heavily involved in memory and muscle contraction. You have things like serotonin, which helps us to sleep and helps us feel happy. Dopamine is a very important neurotransmitter for motivation and to keep us focused and enjoying pleasurable things. We look heavily at neurotransmitters, and most of these neurotransmitters are made in the gut under the microbial action that happens in the gut. And a lot of these neurotransmitters, especially serotonin and dopamine, some of you watching us may be on SSRIs or DSRIs, medications like Zymbalta and Abilify and Wellbutrin. These are all trying to chemically change your neurotransmitters. We can do that naturally. In order to do that, you need activated B vitamins. You need a good, properly functioning digestive system. The 4th thing is we need proper hormone balance. Your thyroid has a heavy impact on brain function, and so do our testosterone levels and estrogen levels in men, and the estrogen progesterone ratios in females. For example, in females, if you don't have enough progesterone to balance estrogen, the calming neurotransmitter called GABA, gamma-aminobutyric acid, will not impact the neurons like it should. So your hormones have an impact on how well your neurotransmitters work. So in women who have a progesterone deficiency or estrogen dominance type situation, which is very common, they're very anxious and their mind loops and they have a hard time sleeping. So we see that a lot clinically. The fifth thing that healthy neurons need, and this is what we do in functional neurology, is your neurons need to be activated. They need to be stimulated. And this is what we do. We do functional neurological exercises to activate neuronal pools that need it. And this is really important. Neurons are just like muscles. If you don't use them, you lose them. So when we assess someone with poor brain function, we look at all these factors. Is there a fuel delivery problem? Is the mitochondria working? Are you absorbing your B vitamins? Are you inflamed? Do you need certain neurotransmitters? Do you have a hormone imbalance? And what areas of the neural axis are affected? And what exercises can we give that individual to stimulate and activate those neurons? This is kind of the Reader's Digest version of what we do to get unhealthy neurons healthy, and we help a tremendous amount of people. Traditional medicine doesn't look at this. I hope this helps. Have a great day.